Okay, this video is going to be going over some new updates we've made to the invoices, and also, if you haven't seen it, it'll also include some updates that we've had to transactions. So first, let's do a quick review on invoices. If we go to invoices, and first off, what is an invoice? What goes on invoices? Um, Invoices are for your tickets or your loads in the system that aren't being uh, billed directly to the mill. So if you're using the mill, then we have the mill reconciliation based on that because your mill is typically good about sending you a statement, and then you basically just need to reconcile those tickets with the statement. But an invoice is for customers that may not necessarily send you a statement, and you're billing them directly. You're going to invoice them, and they're going to pay by invoice instead of sending you a statement. So uh, you would go into jobs, products, and instead of choosing the mill as the person that's paying you, you would choose a customer, and then you would choose a customer from your customer list over here. And then, kind of in the same fashion that you would create your vendor statements, you would get in a routine of creating invoices maybe on a weekly basis. And you would just come here, and this is going to be very similar actually to creating statements. You're going to click Create Invoices, and then you're going to get a screen that is going to, this screen is designed to be able to quickly and efficiently add lots and lots of tickets for multiple customers, and be able to create invoices from those. So you can basically like just come in here, put in a date range or a customer or a job, and just select all and then preview invoices. And so now, whether we had one customer or 20 customers, you know, 3 tickets or 1,000 tickets, it's pretty quick to do that. And then you're going to choose an invoice date and due date, and then you just select. You just kind of review this and make sure, yeah, I know I got 3 tickets. That was a total of 64 tons, and that sounds like the right amount. So this, we can go ahead and create this, and we would do so. But that's not the purpose of this video. So that's creating invoices by tickets, but sometimes you may not have a ticket that you want to that you want to invoice your customer for. Sometimes it is just a single like one-off item that you don't have on a ticket. And for that scenario, this is what we've created the new functionality for. You'll see that there's a place to create an individual invoice. So if we click on this, this is going to walk us through the process, and basically we're going to start with a blank invoice. So we got to choose who we're going to invoice. So this is our bill to. We're going to fill in the date, and a 15 net terms on the due date. And we're going to give you the next invoice number, but you can overwrite any of this stuff. And we're going to click Save. And then what you got to do is you want to add transactions to your invoice. These are line items, just like a typical uh, invoice is. And so you can see we have 2 sections. We have the individual line item section, and then you can also add tickets onto this invoice as well if you want. So that tool is here for you, but we're probably going to focus just on the individual line items for this video. So there's really 2 ways you can create these individual line items. You can add a new one right now, if you haven't already added it into the system, or if you forgot to add one, you can just click Create New Transaction, and notice that it's going to bring up the form. We already know who the customer is because we're creating it from the invoice, and we can fill out all the details and create this line item to be added to our invoice. Or if you've already added some line items, like you can see there's 3 line items here, that kind of brings in we'll sidestep over to the transactions. I'm going to open this in a new tab. And so if during the week or month you uh, have a need to go ahead and create a record of what you're going to be invoicing your customer for, you can create this transaction at any time and go ahead and just place it in the system. So you can see I went to transactions, I clicked on create transaction up here, and then you can choose a date, and you can choose any of your companies in the system, whether it's a mill or a vendor, or even you can choose to add an expense for your company. You can choose any of the accounts. You can choose a job or not. We'll leave this job blank, and then we'll do, let's say 2 units, $50. That comes out to be $100, and fill in the description. Okay, so now we've created this, and we can go on and enter some tickets or go throughout the week. But eventually, it comes time we're ready to create the invoice, and it's time to bill our customer. So if we go back and we'll click on refresh just to show, there's that line item that we created, and so all your line items are going to show up here, and you can choose which ones you want to add to this invoice. So we'll choose, let's choose these last two here. And then you can also add a ticket if you want. If you say, you can choose that, and then we're going to choose add to invoice. So that adds these 3 line items to the invoice, and then that's going to bring up, this is the edit screen that we've seen before. This has always been in the system. You can see the total due is a total of the 3 line items. Here's where you can mark it as being paid or not. And you can also do some editing here. If you decide, no, I don't want this item at this time. For example, we can remove this ticket if we want. So that'll remove the ticket. It adjusts the price, and so now we only have the 2 line items. Or if we decide later on that we forgot something, we can click Add Transactions, and that brings us back to the Add Transactions to Invoice screen that we were just on a few moments ago. And so we can actually add that ticket that we just took off back on. So that allows you to easily add and remove items. And like I said, if you forget something, and you can actually create a new transaction from here. It's kind of a quicker way to do it because it already fills in the company for us, and then it's going to bring us back to that page. So now that our invoice is created, it's ready to be sent out. You can do that a couple different ways. We can click on View Invoice, and this is going to show us our individual invoice here. Okay, that's loaded up, and it has our invoice number. This is the product summary section, so this is really just for your tickets. And then we'll scroll down to see, this is the individual detail. This will show our individual line items, and then it gives us our total amount here. So this will print these invoices from our main screen. If we go back to invoices, we can see we can either filter by date or by customer, and you can click on the checkbox to select all and then print, and that'll load them all up, and you can print them out in multiples. Okay, so I hope that helps, and as always, let us know if you have any questions.